there's something you have, and it's time to tap into that. I keep hearing how it's so easy for us to get caught up in the external and what everyone else is doing. How is this person doing this and this person is doing that? And it's very easy to, I'm hearing, be blind to what it is you bring to the table, the uniqueness that is you. And if it's something that you've never tried before, I'm hearing it's time to try it, and to stop creating these lies, these stories that you can't do that thing. Because if you continue to believe you cannot do that thing, then you're not going to be able to do that thing. You have to believe. And something that came up yesterday in the journaling meditation that I host is you have to believe in order to see, instead of you have to see it in order to believe it. You create and manifest and bring things into the physical realm. Those things are already out there, but if you can't see it, it doesn't mean that it's not there. So really tapping into what is here, your heart, and also your solar plexus, which is your personal willpower. Which is funny because you'll see the theme for today. Because it's time for you to bring something that is unique to you out into the world. So when I shuffled, I got 2 cards for the theme. I got willpower and I got talent. And really, it's seeing that you are so talented, seeing that you bring something different, and that because it isn't like how the rest of the world is doing it doesn't mean that you are not qualified to do that thing. And so taking a step back, a step away from the distractions. What are you doing that is distracting you? What are you focusing your attention on? And it's how can you take a break from it? Now is the time to focus on you. And in order to bring the things you want to bring into this world, you have to let go of those distractions because they're draining you. They're draining you, they're depleting you. The Wheel of Fortune. It's very Twilight Zone-y. Do you feel like you're in the Twilight Zone? I think a lot of us feel like we're in the Twilight Zone. But it's like, how can you break out of that cycle? How can you break out of what feels like the Twilight Zone and getting into, I'm hearing, your zone? What is your zone? And not allowing there to be a manipulation. I'm hearing the word manipulation. You see how it's like, when there's like, when you're being hypnotized, they use the like spiraling. Not allowing there to be a manipulation. It's like you're being hypnotized by the wrong things. And when I say wrong, it's not wrong or right. It's more of like what doesn't align with you. You're focusing on things that do not align with you, and it's manipulating and distorting your view and how you can show up in this world. And I just feel so much depletion and heaviness. I'm seeing two things here. It's like, is someone reaching out their hand to help you and you keep dismissing it? Because I'm seeing for some of you, it's like there is someone there trying to help you, but it's like there's this jaded view that you have of like, no, they can't help me. No one can help me. In order to trust other people, you have to trust yourself. So going within and balancing this mistrust that is within your system and really leaning into affirmations of, I can trust myself and the decisions I make. Because lots of times we struggle to form relationships. When I say relationships, it can be romantic, it can be friendship, like very just any interpersonal relationship. The reason a lot of us struggle to maybe form deep connections is because there's this fear of being taken advantage of, but really the root of that fear is that you don't trust yourself to speak up and set boundaries if there's a time that calls for it. So you have to trust yourself as you go into each partnership. The other way I'm seeing it is that you're trying to reach out to help someone else who it's like is no longer aligned with you. It's like you keep trying to be like, no, come through the portal, the doorway, like let's get to the other side. But there's this distance that keeps growing between the two of you, which then is slowing you down. It's pulling you back, and it's not allowing you to go through the door, to start the new cycle, to get out of the twilight zone. A lot of this is about cycles, seeing what patterns that keep arising and what cycle you've been in, because I'm feeling a lot of like, I'm done energy. I'm done dealing with the same thing over and over again. But are you paying attention to why you're still in that cycle? What coping mechanisms, how you're approaching it? It's time to approach it differently. Once you meditate on figuring out why you continue to face the same thing over and over again, and then you're like, I'm over this, it keeps showing up in your life because you're meant to continue to learn that lesson until it's fully learned. So what is it? Go through each time, and it's not like I'm seeing like this, it's like a movie, like an old movie where it's like what is the word? The reel. But it's like seeing it in chronological order of like, how did I respond in this way? How did I respond? And like collecting that data and realizing like, oh, this is the missing link. Like I've learned so much throughout this cycle, but this is the link that is going to help me break out of this cycle. 6 of Cups. Knowing that growth is slow and steady. You see how the polar bear grows. It's a baby, and then it's a juvenile, and then it's an adult. And in each one, they're resting. Knowing that rest is what helps you grow. It's not just the go, 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 go mentality, the do, do, do. Just being helps you grow. Think about children, specifically teenagers. Teenagers sleep a lot for a reason. It's because they are growing. Lots of times, like as children, the reason children sleep so much is because their body is putting a lot of energy into their growth. And it's really funny because it's like I'm hearing the phrase of like parents, it's like, oh, you like grew overnight. And it feels that way, but really they didn't grow overnight. They had been growing for a while, but then there was this one moment where it's like very clear, like, oh my gosh, you sprouted 2 inches. higher than what you were. And so knowing that a lot of the growth also happened during rest, because that's when you are in the receiving. That's when you get to really sit with yourself and your dreams. Lots of time, every time, are telling you something. There's something in your subconscious. So what are your dreams telling you? Because I'm someone that loves to analyze my dreams, and every time I wake up and I remember a vivid dream, I start going into it and figuring out like what it could be telling me. And it's knowing that your dreams and the things that come to you during rest are going to contribute to your growth. It's an extremely vital part of your growth. So are you taking this time to rest and receive? Receiving is tongue tie. Receiving is extremely important in order to do the doing part. To do the doing. You have to be in order to do. Two of Swords, the ladders. And ladders have been coming up too. That came up a lot in the writing meditation yesterday. And it's like knowing that there's this path, that you're gonna come across many ladders as you continue to climb up your journey. I'm almost seeing like a ladder that goes up like a, what would that be? Is that like a glen? Like, you know, this like kind of hill. It's leaned up so you can get to this part. It's like almost like natural steps, but like larger, and it's like covered in moss. That's what I'm seeing. It's very green. But each ladder is going to be a different size depending on how tall that like step is. And knowing that sometimes it's going to take you a little bit longer to get to the next new beginning. That's what I'm hearing. That just because one thing might have taken you it felt efficient, it was quick. You did something and you made a breakthrough and you're like, whew, that was easy. And then you hit the next one and then all of a sudden it's like this extremely tall ladder and you're like, wait, but this one back here was shorter. It didn't take me as long. And it's knowing that they're never going to be the same size. It's always going to be a different size, and there's going to be certain barriers that you're going to be able to break through much easier than others. And it all stems back from like what cycles and what you came here to learn, what your soul came here to learn. It's really easy for us to get attached and connect, like, this was my experience in the past, so then our ego is really good at being like, well, then this is what it's going to look like in the future, whether it's positive or negative in your perception. So sometimes we have a negative experience, what we perceive as a negative experience, that then stops us from trying that experience again in the future, because there's fear of it turning out the same way. But really, that's our ego just trying to keep us stuck and in the same place, complacent. And our egos are there to keep us safe, but really that safety is not safe. It's just familiar, and it ends up harming you. It does more harm than good to you and what it is you are seeking in this lifetime. Because now is the time to take the risk. And that, it sounds contradicting because we're talking about rest, but that is taking the risk. Rest is a form of resistance to the way our society and our world is built on how we have to go. Taking the risk to listen to your body, taking the risk to slow down, taking the risk to be in the receiving, so then you can take that risk to jump off the cliff. It's time to hear your inner wisdom, to listen to it, to move with it, to dance with it. Woo. That is too many. We have the Two of Wands. And then we have Judgment. It looks like a blue moon. It's a little bit purple, but it's reminding me of the blue moon, and we actually have a blue moon this year. And for those of you who don't know what a blue moon is, it's when there's 2 full moons in a month. And this year we are having a blue moon in May. So we have a full moon May 1st, and then a full moon May 31st, which are extremely supportive energies to help us manifest our desires. And what I'm seeing is like, it's like, these are your desires. It's to be abundant and wealthy, but not in a materialistic way. That will come. But it's seeing the abundance and wealthiness through the lens of substance, of depth, of what types of relationships and deep connections do I have? Are you traveling the world? What are your experiences? Because those experiences are the wealth and abundance that are in your life. And the more that happens, and the more that you get to share your uniqueness with the world, is what's going to bring in that physical, that material abundance. But I mean, you have these mountains, and it's just, what I'm seeing is like this is your highest potential. But are you going to take the time during the blue moon to really sit with what you want to bring and create into this world? This blue moon is extremely abundant, and it is extremely supportive in making our dreams a reality. And are you visualizing what those dreams are? Because with Judgment, that's what I'm seeing. There's a bunch of eyes, and those eyes are looking at the butterfly, the transformation. Are you visualizing your transformation before it even happens? Because that's what believing before you see it, that's what they mean by that. If you want, I'm trying to think of an example. If you want to be a teacher of some kind, are you visualizing that? Because you can only do so much when it comes to working towards it, like physically working towards it. But there has to be this visual aspect of really, like, they work together. It's this co-creation. It's like, what I'm seeing is like there's this group where these souls are only visualizing it, but not putting in the work to bring it into reality. Because it's a lot of times what I hear is like, oh, well, I trust and this is going to happen, but it's manifestation isn't just about visualizing, it's about doing too. But then I have a group of souls over here that are just doing and working and burning themselves out. And it's almost like they lost sight of their dream. It's like they're getting stuck, and that dream is like drifting away. So bringing in and creating this integration of visualizing and manifesting your dreams while also putting in the work to make that, to bring that into the physical realm. have fun with it. Really visualize what it is that you want. And even if it doesn't make sense, if you just sit down for, let's say, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and you're just like, I'm just going to visualize like what I want in the future, even if you have no idea, images are going to start popping up, and you can journal about that. That's really powerful. You can just be like, I saw a mountain and I saw a goat. And then you can look up what those mean. And it can lead you. It's these breadcrumbs, it's these puzzle pieces that are puzzle pleases. Another polar bear. This is really interesting. Man, a lot of cards are coming out today. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's usually just never this many cards. So I encourage you to look up polar bear if you resonate with it or if you feel curious about it. So I'm using the Wild Chorus Oracle deck. I have 3 cards that came out. This is the Find the Shimmer. And these I shuffled to help anchor in these messages. And it makes sense so much is coming out. I think that's what a lot of what that message is so many cards are wanting to come out because so much is trying to get to you. There's a lot of messages and synchronicities that are trying to reach you, but you have to rest and be in the receiving in order to receive those messages. All of it for all of us. And then healing with some honey. And I don't know about you, but I love honey. I didn't like it when I was a kid, but I loved it. I became a lover of it. So I'm going to read out of the book what these mean. All right. Find the shimmer. Symbiosis, integration, yes. In times of heartbreaking change, we try to preserve what we can. As this polar bear holds something precious to its chest, what looks from here like an ordinary geode may be the seed of a new universe or all that remains of an old one. The title of this spell comes from an essay by Deborah Bird Rose called Shimmer, When All You Love Is Being Trashed. In it, she writes, we are going to be asked again and again to take a stand for life, and this means taking a stand for faith in life's meaningfulness. We are called into recognition of the shimmer of life's pulses and the great patterns within which the power of life expresses itself. We are therefore called into gratitude for the fact that, in the midst of terrible destruction, life finds ways to flourish, and that the shimmer of life does indeed include us. You are being welcomed into the shimmer of life. You are being invited into connection with what you love, even as it's changing. Find ways of making your connection specific and tangible. What are you in symbiosis with? Where do you feel woven into the patterns of life? This card could signal a depth of relationship that takes courage and rewards reciprocity. Here's your reminder that whatever you're holding tightly isn't a possession but a changing process. Love it as it changes. So there's Find Your Shimmer. And it really is about just like, there's this weight of the world around us, on us, and it can feel defeating, but knowing that we are capable and that we can bring light into what feels dark. All right. All of it for all of us. Abundance, mutual aid, radical imagination. These 2 crows invite you to imagine a world where you have all that you need and others do too. This card offers a mouthful of ripe berries with plenty to share. It summons a fundamental relational abundance, a fullness that multiplies and overflows between you and me and all of us. It speaks to the part of you that knows how it feels to have enough. Enough for yourself and enough to share, even if you have never had that lived experience. There is a buoyant, anthemic generosity in this card that lifts spirits and reconnects the disconnected. You can hold this radical idea in your heart and express it in your actions. Circulation of support is the heart of mutual aid. This card asks you to give in a way that feeds you too, and receive in a way that honors what you have to offer. Oh, I'm not done, but there's a lot of like heart chakra clearing and movement, and it's like very tight and it's like contracting. So it's like making it hard for me to breathe. But a lot of this is helping move, and this disconnection and connection that it's talking about is connecting to love and knowing that love is the most important thing. What do you love to do? Who do you love? Like, finding the color, bringing the color, creating the color. That's why I had to take a second, because you could probably hear it, like it almost felt like I was starting to wheeze. It's now loosening a little bit, but lots of times when I feel heart clearing or this resistance to allowing the heart to clear, it gets very, very tight, and it felt like it was going up my throat and like tightening. This card asks you to give in a way that feeds you too, and receive in a way that honors what you have to offer. The central magic of this card is that it asks you both to give and receive, to keep the wheel of abundant fullness turning for everyone. Wheel of abundance, wheel of fortune, wheel of abundance. This card enthusiastically cheers on the path you're considering if it's aligned with a larger, greater good. It may warn you against decisions that only benefit you or decisions that are too self-sacrificing. You are one of many, and your role here is to do your small part to increase our collective joy and liberation. All right, and then last one, let's do healing. Oh, maybe this isn't honey, but that's interesting that honey came up, because honey has a lot of healing abilities. Sweetness, the earth loves you, disability, justice. You are wreathed in earth medicines, witch hazel, chicory, and dandelion. Oh, you are the honey. It is honey. You may notice a snake winding in and out of the wreath, but don't be afraid. You are also the snake. The word healing can so often be twisted toward a kind of health normativity that ignores the cycles of capacity and incapacity, ability and disability that we all move between throughout our lives. Here we are speaking of healing as a kind of miracle, not one that cures or ensures that you never fall ill, but a miracle that lightens and sweetens the experience of being alive. Working with this card, you can turn towards your cycles and your rhythms, and you can call in the sweetness of the honey, the bitterness of chicory and dandelion, the astringence of witch hazel, the venom of the snake, all potentially healing in different applications. This card invites you into shape-shifting and attunement rather than a monolithic understanding of health. In this attunement, may you find sweetness and catharsis. Healing may also show up as a reminder to be sweeter to yourself and to prioritize your care. Oh, a lot came through with that one. Those cards just really hit the nail on the coffin. And there's so much clearing. It feels like there's an opening to seeing the truth. And to close out this message, I just shuffled for a flower, and we have wisteria, longevity, plan for and take the dedicated path. Consistency, the word consistency has been coming up a lot lately. And so knowing that consistency is much more powerful than exerting all of your energy right up front. This paves the path, the way to longevity is through consistency. So really listening to your body and knowing when to rest, and knowing when to move forward and take action. To do is to be is to do, and allowing them to dance together. So that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.